The true, harsh, conservative Germany. Here, people work hard and create the finest cars in the world. All year round, people indeed work like robots themselves. But when October comes, everything changes for 2 weeks. The annual Oktoberfest festival is the largest celebration in the world. Over 16 days, 6 million people pass through this land of beer and fun, or unrestrained fun that draws in both adults and children. It's already caught up with me, it's absolutely crazy, I feel awkward. Indeed, somehow Oktoberfest is also a place where you can find love. I'm looking for a virgin at 40. Well, there are many options, so you can try. How do you like it? The most popular photo? But when Oktoberfest ends, the tough German weekdays begin. That's how we live, constantly working. Is the money enough? The money is not enough.
Cheating, but deception. There's so much of it here. Never work with Russians. They always deceive. Only Slavs, each other.
This is a miniature. A friend helps. A friend to drill. Drilling a friend. Quite a few. Ferraris in one place. Not just beer, cars and work. Today we'll dive into the everyday life of one of the main German cities. Monosaret, right? No. This is the center of Munich and a lovely sunny October day. Before the gloomy winter, Germans eagerly catch the last cooling sun. Despite the height of the festival, it's calm here and not a single drunk person. People are eating fruits and chestnuts for 4 euros per cup. In this area, on the outskirts of Munich, lives Alina. Usually at this time she is already at work, but not today. You walk to Oktoberfest, sober for now. The fact that we are now in the world capital of alcohol is reminded by this strange poster in the metro. Otherwise, even in the festival area, everything is very decent. Everyone is so quiet, intelligent people, it's lovely. And it's so clean, not a single cigarette butt. They check you at the entrance. First of all, to ensure no one brings their own beer. And surely, they won't let you in with weapons either. Only after diving into the crowd did I realize where I had ended up. I couldn't imagine it was this huge. It's an entire city with streets made of beer pavilions, bars and carousels, which are fun for kids, but for adults a real nausea-inducer. Imagine attractions, pavilions, and any kind of structures. Every year they are rebuilt here from scratch. This is how the field looks now. In the summer, it was completely empty. Germans try to drink with purpose, almost everyone in traditional costumes, transporting beer barrels on horses. The festival is one big crowd. To have a place to sit, you need to choose one of these pavilions, which are also called tents. Booking a table in advance is as sweet as an entire village. Today, we are having fun. Here at the entrance there's another bag check. The scale is impressive again, with thousands of people celebrating in one tent at the same time. The chatter is such that the huge orchestra is barely audible. Oktoberfest is truly a family celebration. Mothers hold a beer in one hand and their children in the other, while those who don't have children yet are trying to solve that problem and are looking for suitors. For the most part, a visitor's day at Oktoberfest is spent at the table, and food, beer and everything else, like flowers, are brought by the waiters. Wow, I was really overwhelmed right under my nose. Schnitzel, mashed potatoes with a mess, rooster. Beer costs about 15 euros per liter. Portions of food are about the same price. One target. This knife looks like it's definitely from wartime. The chicken, have you eaten such that it just falls apart? This is the wrong way to hold it. Why is it so incredibly and astonishingly beautiful? I only drank half a beer, but it's so incredibly strong that it already caught up with me. It's absolutely and unbelievably crazy. I knew that a sitting party couldn't possibly end first, and this guy quickly went into dance mode, astonishingly and remarkably so, with an energy that was both unexpected and captivating. It became more fun and even louder here. Climbed onto the bench with his feet. This guy was also the first. Today our leader, it's him.
It's getting more fun, and more enjoyable, and more exciting as time goes on.
They sing beautifully. It seems I'm indeed certainly the most modest here, but I won't sit alone.
Well, let's do it like this. The most popular photo.
Absolutely right.
The joke about the family holiday was not a joke. Oktoberfest is full of children's activities not related to alcohol. Vitaly is also here today with his whole family.
Here, we can make it a children's holiday event. Just now, we played a very fun and exciting game, knocking down cans. Yes, they are happy, and there are all sorts of treats, and they like it, and fun and exciting. We didn't want to come here as much as they did. Honestly, I prefer beer that isn't from Oktoberfest. But here it's also tasty, strong, powerful for the mood and the atmosphere. It's really cool.
Vitalik and I are already in the center, and it's not just us. These Englishmen are clearly from Oktoberfest too. They're whipping each other with a whip. Vitaly is amazed at how the Germans preserved the historical appearance of Munich.
Can you imagine, like almost 90% of Munich was destroyed, and they rebuilt it according to the old plans?
This is indeed the Pantheon. By the way, all these rallies on all issues are always held here. Here begins one of the parts of the largest in the world. City. Park.
English Garden.
Here are the restaurants where you need to be decent.
That's their policy. You came to visit us. They might not give you a table, they might not serve you. They might kick you out. That is, no matter who you are.
Parks green, fountains, canals, plenty of water. This is what the most powerful canal looks like. An artificial wave was created on it, and now it's a favorite spot for surfers. Despite the cold water, the vibe is truly Balinese. Even in the rain, there are spectators at this show, and there are really cool athletes on the wave.
Well, but most definitely not on Sarah.
Vitalik regularly runs from his home to about this point. It turns out to be 15 kilometers. The Germans themselves love not only BMWs, but also bicycles. Look at the beauty they've installed here. By the way, the reason is a sad one. A white bicycle is parked where a cyclist died. According to the plaque, this one was hit in 2021. Beer in Munich, it's not only consumed in large quantities, but also produced.
By the way, right now we are going to pass by the Spartan breweries. You see, these are all the tanks standing there. Here, if we open the window, you can smell the hops and malt.
In terms of size and appearance, Munich reminds Vitalik of his native Kharkiv.
In terms of people, pre-war, it resembles Kharkiv. And I feel more comfortable here, let's say, than I would, for example, in Düsseldorf, where I was. There's a lot of drug addiction, a lot of dirt. Although, let's say, compared to Kharkiv, Munich is dirty.
The city is also often called a millionaire village.
35% of Munich's residents, these are only those who were born here. 35%, 65% are all outsiders.
And here are the places that Michael Jackson indeed loved, who stayed at the same hotel near this alley.
Jackson simply loved Munich and loved this place. This is the very center of the city. It's really interesting to explore this country. I was in Germany for the first time in 2004. It was, of course, a different Germany, absolutely different. Then I was there in 2008, 2009 for a Madonna concert. I was already in Munich and traveled to other cities, but somehow a tourist. I really enjoyed being a tourist. Compared to being an immigrant, a resident here, I can't say that I'm completely thrilled. Well, Germany wasn't, of course, that international. Now you can go, for example, to some... Well, we go there with the kids to an open-air pool. 70% of them will be immigrant Muslims. They behave, of course, absolutely not like the Germans do. They listen to music loudly. Actually, it's their cultural heritage, which is incomprehensible to Germans. I think that Germans themselves were kinder in those years. But again, what is the reason for such a number of migrants? It turned out that they have to now endure it. I didn't see any sign here. Yes, it says here that it's a person who is holding something. Ah, okay. Thank you very much.
Germany accepts a huge number of refugees from all the world's hotspots. Guys, only Ukrainians number about 1.5 million. According to Vitaly, not all Germans are happy with such hospitality.
Look, he won't let me pass because I'm not on his plates. Seriously? Yes, even though I was first. Look. Do you see? And there's a lot of this here too. Even though I was first, signaled to turn, and this is what happens. People are basically the same everywhere. Everywhere. There are bad ones, good ones, supportive ones, non-supportive ones. There are... I'll go there by car. They wrote idiot.
What use with?
Surprisingly, they write on pieces of paper.
Neatly.
Yes, neatly. Because if they see that there was damage, it's punishable.
Vitaly's car has Ukrainian plates. How does it feel?
Strongly. Well, for example, they cut me off and say some nasty things. Well, that's because, considering that, well, they directly call me Ukrainian there.
So it's important not only that they're not Bavarian or German, but that they're Ukrainian.
Yes, Ukrainian, yes.
Well, there must be some positives.
Honestly, in my case, there haven't been any yet.
He thinks you're driving an expensive car and receiving benefits.
Ah, exactly. You can understand them. 1.5 million people arrived who became a burden to them. And now I'm paying for them too.
You pay taxes there?
I pay taxes, yes. A very large number of people, they don't want to work, they won't work. They will never be integrated here. They are just doing time. They sit and they get paid money. This is not like Spain where they just told you, come, you can work. But you won't get anything from us. But here people really do get paid. I am grateful to Germany for giving the opportunity, but not everyone takes advantage of it. Yes, and there is a lot of work here. There is a lot of work. And it exists. Yes, it's not super. Why pay so much social benefits as a person would earn at work? If they paid, for example, 30% less, it would motivate people to go and work. There is no motivation. I helped people in social services. Well, there are, for example, there are Syrians or Afghans. They have 7 children and she shouts, I will not work. Don't offer me a job, I will not work. She receives money for each child from taxpayers in Germany. Well, of course, I can understand the Germans. There is a party called AfD, which is precisely the party that is against migrants, Ausländers, and so on. They are currently gaining a lot of momentum. Honestly, I don't see such aggression, at least not directly from the Germans.
They might vote for the AfD.
There are already regions where they are gaining a majority. But actually it's kind of a scary thing. But on the other hand, if they do what they promise, that they want to expel everyone, migrants, non-locals, and so on, well then there will be no one left to work here.
This is Toma. She is currently helping refugees and is now heading to her office. Turkish barbershop.
Yes, I am a hairdresser at Kudrek. They make Turkish bread there. There I eat soup right away, lentil.
Turkish soup is really great. Everything is like in Istanbul.
These were all apartments, and many apartments have been converted into offices. There were 2 rooms here. They were remodeled.
Toma advises both Germans and Ukrainians.
So to speak, to get paid. And how to stay in Germany in such a way that you can still work. Because unfortunately, in Germany, it is set up so that it is very beneficial for many people to work, beneficial to receive money, Kim. It's just that there is a large amount of tax in winter, and if you go somewhere to work, roughly speaking, you will receive about $200 more in hand than you get from the state. Okay. Meanwhile, a refugee loses a lot on housing.
So, if a refugee starts working in their new country, do they also lose their free housing?
It depends on the refugee. Right now, typically, depending on the situation in the clinic, we generally have cooled down in the camps, in the camp races. Some are in houses, and there are those who cry like in a camp. And so you wake up in the morning, oh, it's winter, -10 outside, and you have to go to the toilet outside.
As a consultant, Toma spent a lot of time in such camps.
And you don't have a separate room. You have it like this, from here. I'm not joking. 1, 2. Well, here they stand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's good if you have some family and you live with the family. If not, you live in a house. And who do you give it to? Well, my wall, it doesn't sit. And then everything out. Can you see? And here's what we see in front of his changing people. Here, all of you, none of you are adults. This is when you go to a family consultation. We're kids. And parents need to consult about what to do with these kids. I don't really know exactly what this is.
This is already an Italian restaurant. The portions are amazing. Here's what half a pizza looks like. Toma came here on a skateboard, and she's going to her second job on it as well.
Well, it's not heavy.
Cyclists get mad at Toma, but the skateboard is her #1 mode of transport.
I ride different. I love riding to Marian class, where there are many people. It's nice among people.
Do you sing to someone or not?
No. No. Well, you really need to get the hang of it, perhaps like how to say, to get skilled. To learn.
Toma's second job is much more fun than the first. It's precisely Oktoberfest. At the festival, Toma safely guides groups of tourists and ensures that in this crowd they find their pavilion and table.
The first thing I tell tourists is where to tie this bow. It's super important.
It means that I'm not married.
If I were already a widow, yes. But fortunately, I'm not a widow. I would have the bow at the back.
And if I'm a virgin, then it's right in the middle here.
Does a virgin have to kind of declare that she's a virgin?
Maybe declare it so that no one bothers her. You need to look to the left if I'm still here.
Well, if I'm still a virgin.
Is this you talking after the second beer?
I'm looking a virgin at 40.
With her at 40? Yeah, well, in principle, there are many options, so you can try. Will I find one? I think you will. You will.
If you tie a bow, like Tom often does, they approach.
Waitresses earn incredibly well. They just pull it out of us. We just gave away 50 euros like that.
They usually earn during these 16 days. That is, it's 3 weekends and 2 weeks. Practically for the whole year. So if they have a grandmother who worked here, their mother will work here and the daughter will work here. Well, if there's no daughter, they might pass it on to some aunt. The money stays in the family, but I wouldn't want to work here. It's very noisy here. They carry 5 mugs, 5 here, 5 there. That's about 10 liters for us. And plus, have you tried the mug? It's quite heavy. And with the mugs, if you have a load, you can help like that. I wouldn't be able to do it.
And with all that, Toma doesn't drink beer.
I was here last night, sober. It's impossible. I hate them, those drunk people. Being drunk is still okay.
Yes, you need a lot of patience. Apparently, that's what I'm paid for patience.
How much do they pay you?
More or less, they pay either 35.
Is that per hour?
Yes.
Aren't you looking for a husband here?
No, I'm not looking here because I don't drink, so why would I?
About 8 million liters of beer are consumed at the festival. And for those who have had too much, all that's left is to lie on this slope.
There is this beautiful and lovely field called Hortzwiese.
The puking field.
Yes, that's exactly what this field is. Hotz is exactly what you said. And people come here in the morning at 9 or 11 a.m., have a couple of beers, and then go lie down for 3 hours on this field. Well, some are from the party, others are nearby doing other things.
The goal for many tourists is to take a glass from the festival.
No, well, if the glass is sticking out like this,
They do it like this often. Like, will they get caught? I got caught. So everyone comes out at 10:30, at 11 like this, tipsy with a glass.
Toma has been working here for 6 years now.
they say Schwarzenegger was here. Yes, but did you see him?
He actually comes. He visits us every year. He really loves the tent called Manstal. It's the fanciest one. He comes every year. Last year, Johnny Depp was here.
Costumes for Oktoberfest, a separate business. They are sold all over the city at this time. Shorts and a simple shirt cost 250 euros.
That's absolutely no price at all.
Alina rents an apartment in a quiet area of Munich. She moved into this house a few months ago. She hasn't screwed in all the light bulbs yet. The frames are factory photos, but she says that's the way it's intended. Today the plan was to have breakfast on the terrace, but it's raining again outside.
That's it. I filmed it. We'll have to stay indoors.
Alina's breakfast is too Bavarian. I think it's specifically for the filming.
It's a typical Bavarian breakfast, yes. Pretzel. Potato salad, I don't know why they love it so much, but this one is very tasty.
Is it potato salad or mashed potatoes? It looks like mashed potatoes.
There's some special seasoning in it. I haven't even tried making it myself. Oh, you just bought it.
White sausages.
And this sweet mustard, it's absolutely incredibly sticky.
The sausages?
The sausages?
It's like...
There are a couple of options, a couple of theories on how to peel them. Or they say that if it's Bavarian style, then you should suck the meat out of the casing. Well, quite clearly indeed.
I conservatively just with the casing because there's more that way. But is it really normal for them to have a beer in the morning? Or do they just pretend? Seriously? Do you ever take a glass and head to work?
Maybe just a cold glass to have. That's unclear. That's a no. They are allowed to have a beer during lunch break.
Alina speaks perfect German and reads German books.
No, you read a paragraph, you understand everything. Is that your bookmark?
Yes, stuck in the middle.
Well, less than the middle.
She arrived in 2017, right after her studies. Here she is with her parents and her diploma from the Transnistrian University.
And do you say here that you're from Transnistria, not Moldova?
Yes.
And how do they react? Do they understand Transnistria?
No, but perhaps...
Tell them, Alina, you're saying.
Initially, Alina worked as a nanny while simultaneously getting a qualification and processing documents. 5 years ago, she was hired as an accountant, but now she wants a change.
What are you thinking about?
It's a little less stress, so it's not so intense. Less work and responsibility. Work and responsibility, but more money.
Well, it would seem you, even by German standards, you've settled well. You have a nice apartment, and you have enough money for everything.
Now, can you imagine? It's already March 24th. Since 2017, I've been through so much that it's not to say it was easy.
Well, don't you want to rent out a room to someone?
No. Yes, acquaintances have asked me, of course, when they find out, but I think, damn, no. I just got out of that and I want some peace.
Salaries, tax declarations and reports. Alina chose a difficult path.
German bureaucracy, and here there's also a carousel. Even Germans find it hard to speak and understand these laws. Well, for us, it's even more so. Every law has its own exception, which has a couple more exceptions.
Salary? How much?
Here, people don't ask about that. It's not discussed.
On the contrary, I've been told that on dates, a guy asks a girl how much she earns. Not in Germany. Probably in Germany.
Well, I have enough for now. We have enough to rent this apartment and manage.
Well, look, the apartment is 1,000 euros and some change. Especially with utilities, travel and food. Well, probably 3, you earn that. Yes. We found that out. Do you save on anything?
No. Well, if you live moderately, you could say I don't save. This, of course, doesn't include buying some branded items, or this and that. If you put it that way, then I do save.
We've been chatting much. Time for Linky to work.
That's how we live. Constantly working.
My neighborhood. We'll cross the little bridge. The Isa. Beavers roam. We always try to catch beavers here with the kids.
Haven't any?
Well, I saw a very big, very huge one once.
They're adding another floor to the apartment building in Vitali's neighborhood.
People lived, and then they're told another floor will be added.
Every day he walks past a perfect football field. I've never seen anyone playing on it.
It's supposedly owned by the school, but there's never anyone there, and you can't get onto it. Well, it's such a good field. Regarding prices, yes, they say Munich is the most expensive. You need to move if you want to save there. Well, everything is balanced. Everything is balanced in Munich. Higher prices, higher wages, more opportunities to earn in general. The cost of housing, for example, in this area. Well, for used, really old ones, it will be about 7,500 per square meter. Crazy. And for new ones, it's around 12.5 per square meter. On the right side, that's a bunker on top. There's an apartment there selling for 12.5 million. People used to hide there, and it was later converted into housing.
Germans are car enthusiasts. Here, the domestic auto industry is not an insult, but a source of pride. In Munich, see BMWs, Audis, Porsches. And if you come across an old car, it's something like this. Here, Mercedes cars are like toys on shelves. But the ultimate automotive atmosphere is at Motor World.
This is a miniature. A friend helps a friend to drill. Drilling. Friends drilling.
Drilling each other.
Yes, friendly drilling. It's an open exhibition center for everyone with restaurants and an unreal number of expensive cars.
Let's say quite a few. Ferraris in one place.
It used to be a train repair factory. Then a German bought it and turned it into a commercial enterprise. We live near this place, it's very cool, and we go there with the kids to look at cars, eat, and see something new for ourselves.
Bugatti, Mazda, and real racing cars both on the floor and on the ceiling, such as
the Batmobile shines so much that it's hard to tell where the car is. This motorcycle was probably parked by Batman too, meaning these aren't all the cars here. There are 4 floors, and they rotate them, showing them in turns.
This is a Rolls Royce, a single piece.
Yes. How the heck did they bend it?
the car costs 168,000 euros. Are they really for sale?
Yes, yes. For example, the owner of this car brought it here and put it up for sale, and here it stands. He pays rent there.
Only unique exhibits like this one are not for sale. Recently, Vitalik came here just to take a walk with an old friend.
And then a guy from Ferrari says, "Come in, why are you just looking? Come in, take a real look." We went in, looked at these Ferraris, he sat us down here and there. And then we walk by and here's a BMW. And the man meets us and says, "Why did you go into Ferrari? Take a look at the BMWs." I mean, we're dressed well in our countries, no.
We don't let bums in.
Yes, bums, we don't let them in, yes. You with this bag in hand, with bottles. Here, on the contrary, this man spent so much time. Maybe he was bored, to be honest, maybe because there was no one else, but you know, there wasn't this kind of disdain.
What do Germans love more, cars or beer? I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm trying.
Hefe cautiously into the iceberg.
It's a locally brewed beer.
Yes, you need to clink glasses and look into each other's eyes. It's considered disrespectful. If you don't look into the eyes, and something offensive.
I don't want to be here, where action is.
Yes, here you need to look into the eyes. Even my kids clink glasses with lemonade. There is a rule here about the blood alcohol content. We can drink 2 of these glasses and drive. Again, together, with one steering wheel, in reverse gear. Videos are coming out now where police stop some elderly people and they say they don't have a license. They say they lost it in 1946. In 1946 in Stalingrad I lost it, he says. Year and they don't have a license. How did you drive? You never stopped me. And I drove.
Let's get back to Oktoberfest. Here, the beer and food are already running out, and people are climbing not just onto the benches, but right onto the tables. I tried it too. I feel awkward somehow. The girls are having more fun too. If you look closely, you can find some really cute ones. Here I was really surprised, but it turned out it's not something you absolutely shouldn't sniff. It's mint and it seems you can. They say it refreshes, but I just tried the taste. It's really mint. Either way, it didn't help this person. It didn't refresh him, and security is escorting him out. Rewatching the footage from Oktoberfest, I felt both amused and embarrassed. It's that rare moment when I got drunk from a few glasses of beer and acted up. Oktoberfest isn't the only place where Tom works part-time. Is the money enough?
The money isn't enough.
A lot goes towards housing, and many have to take on side jobs. In Germany, it's called a mini job. At their main job, everyone tries to work no more than 32 hours.
Because if you work full-time, a large amount of taxes is deducted. So it's better for everyone to work just 32 hours. In addition, it's permissible in Germany to have a mini job. And I have about 5 of them. Which ones? It's a good story. So the first one, it's the pedagogical school called Abracadabra Russian Speaking. It's here in Munich. There. This year I started teaching interactive lectures for kids.
Then Tom has Oktoberfest, tours around Munich, a modeling agency, organizing exhibitions, and the strangest one is helping to organize home spaces. Tom goes to a person's home and throws away all their unattractive items. It's hard for us to imagine such a service, but here, how often is it ordered?
Here, it's actually a good question because Germans, by mentality, are a bit reserved.
They don't let you in?
Yes. Germans are like that. You need to gain their trust for them to open up to you, you know? At first they...
Russians show their underwear.
Yes. So mostly it's either Russian-speaking people or Americans. I also provide psychological sessions, also online.
I told you, 5, you have mini-jobs already more.
Already more. Well, that's how it is, you know, when you need to save up for a car, you want to move. So you are allowed to have a mini-job. It's called a mini-job, a small job to earn. Up to 530 euros without tax.
What if different tasks?
You are allowed, but just no more than 530 euros should come in month.
In total from all mini-jobs?
It doesn't matter where you do it in total. Yes, I fell in love with it very late. But when I figured it out, I reduced my hours to 32 and took a mini-job. But it definitely has to be in 2 different places. You can't go to the same place. And there was a lot more money. You understand? Yes, I started.
Vitaly also has many professions. One of them is a photographer, and somehow these Asian tourists sensed it. They guessed photographer and asked him. Yes, he is a professional.
Professional photographer? Yes. Sorry. Oh, my God. This is not staged.
After moving to Germany, Vitaly started a company for brand promotion on the internet. Working here is not easy.
There is so much cheating and deception here that we, for example, have never encountered this before. And there are many shell companies. Well, for example, I have unpaid invoices. At the moment, probably around 6,000 euros. They just don't want to pay. They don't respond to messages. It's difficult to work with them on a prepayment basis. They say that's not how we do things. But we are now pushing as much as possible for work only on a prepayment basis, ideally 100%.
It's very difficult to collect.
But if we, for example, didn't receive payment, we have invoices for 950 euros. After much consideration, we decided to consult a legal advisor. The lawyer says, well, first of all, you'll spend more than you'll recover. I don't know why, but 3 lawyers told us the same thing. They say, come to us if you have an unpaid invoice of 5,000 euros or more, then come. When I arrived here and just opened the company, the first guys from Lithuania told me this phrase, never work with Russians. They always deceive. But that's their opinion, that's their experience. I will say this, in terms of percentage, we have more deception from Germans. I know Russian-speaking bloggers here who, let's say, frankly, they might not even speak German that well, but they cater to a German audience. They earn money there. Well, 15,000 a month.
Back home, things were going much better for Vitaly.
That is, if in Ukraine I had already moved far away from that, there were businesses, more producing was happening. Now I had to pick up the camera again. I take photos, videos, produce, assemble teams for shoots. We film commercials.
In Germany, there are support programs for Ukrainian businessmen. But in reality, such an agency did not help Vitaly.
He takes the business plan and starts to research it. What is the approx timing for researching my business plan? He says, well, from 6 months to a year and a half. I say, and during this time, what should I do? That is, the opportunity exists, but the mechanism does not.
In terms of content, Germany lags behind our countries.
Content is needed, that's all. And also Germany, it's like the Stone Age. I now see Germany on Instagram like Ukraine was in 2012.
It's hard to communicate with clients.
I say, guys, we will do it 10 times better for half the price. Try it. No, we are working. We are working with a person. He's already 85 years old. He can't see the lens. He can't do anything there. He does everything poorly. Well, you know, we trust him. Let me do it for you for free. I'll just show you for free what we can do. Well, yes, but you know, we are not sure if we need it.
Fanaticism towards stability.
Towards stability, yes, that's over top. The number one downside is simply number one, bureaucracy. There's a direct road and you tell a German, look, there's a direct road.
He says, are you stupid?
Yes, I can do it like this right away.
We've waited 30 minutes for our beer due to bureaucracy.
Well, they are probably still malting. They suffer a lot from it themselves, and they can't do anything about it. For example, you can't do laundry. The washing machine, after 10 p.m.
Because of the noise.
Noise, yes. But right here, immediately, neighbors can put up a sign like this. We are having a party today. We ask you to forgive us in advance. And then they can party until 5 in the morning so loudly that...
Legally, it's kind of okay.
They warned you.
You can't fly drones here. Do you know one of the reasons why you can't fly them? Noise, for birds. Yes. Is serious?
Yes. Noise for the birds and squirrels. But at 5:30 in the morning in summer, or more in autumn, under your windows at 5:30 in the morning, you're sleeping. It could be on Saturday or Friday, you're still sleeping. The noise is such that it feels like there's an airplane in your yard. A man walks around with headphones and blows everything away. Well, I think the squirrels have a heart attack.
At the festival, it's getting late, and Alinka also tied a bow as needed.
We often suggest it as well.
Well, yes. If we're in the cabin, then in the prisoners, but it's often.
They say single men also have signs. I never figured it out and didn't use it.
Well, how about you? Well, how about you? You?
These are hot dogs with long Bavarian sausages. You must try them. I waited a long time for someone to get sick on the carousel, but it never happened. On this one too, even though just the sight of it makes me nauseous. There are tons of rides, kids are squealing and so are the parents. Outside the festival, there's a traffic jam of tow trucks. People are sleeping wherever they can, and this guy is begging for beer coupons. Tom returns home from Oktoberfest when it's already dark. How do you read? Surname?
To teach us. I received it.
wrote to myself for Oktoberfest. Blouses?
The skateboard was resting today. Tom rides it to give consultations.
I ride my skateboard to my fancy job. Everyone is surprised because I'm supposed to look like an adult lady. Consulting adults seriously. And I arrive on a skateboard like, hello. I put it down and start seriously explaining to them what they need, how they should raise their children.
How they should live. Renting a separate apartment costs at least 1,000 euros. And Tom rents a room.
So this is my room. I live with a girl. I actually met her at the dance class. I was attending high heel dance classes. And she was there too. We met and she's straight from Moldova. Here's our little kitchen. It's old, but it's nice. No, really, the apartment is great, considering the money we pay. And we pay around 600 euros each, 1,200 euros for a two-room apartment in Munich. It's impossible to find. These prices were from 8 years ago. That's why I'm very happy. And by the way, I also want to move somewhere out of town. When I have a car, I can move out of town so I can step out onto the grass or into my garden. For that, you need to move a bit further away from all the metro stations. There again, it's cheaper. That is everything that is not on the metro line and train line. Vovakarmanov is much better in terms of price.
Toma hasn't started saving for housing yet, but she has already started visualizing it. She printed out all her desires and gathered them on one board.
Here's the car. Here it is. Look, I'm already dressed like this, but I don't have the car yet.
What else do you have here?
Yes, I definitely want to get married. I mean, are you really visualizing it in the near future? By the way, I want to travel all together. By the way, all of this has already come true. Actually, a lot has come true for me. Here I was also in the Canaries. This also came true on the islands I traveled. Here we are. We're working on all our best parts. By the way, this is also already in progress. Here I am doing activities in the mountains, perhaps. How do you say it in Russian?
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing. I was in Thailand actually, and I went through various practices. I am meditating now, going through various women's practices. It's great. Almost everything else has come true. Now I just need to focus on the car, the house, and this matter.
Well, come on, where are you? Look, how will you travel, brother?
Yes, come on, can I advertise? Yes, I'm watching. I'm ready. I'm ready. Send CVs. Da? They tell me yes, I can.
Come on, not bad, I think. And if it's a person from some country, and who doesn't have visa-free access to Germany, can you help your husband with the documents?
Can I help my husband with the documents? Well, I have German citizenship, only if he wants to marry me. After some time, 5 years I think, he has the right to apply for family reunification. But it's not, I don't want to advertise myself like that.
You need to take kisses. In such an advertisement, it's time to unpack the blouse that came in the mail.
Here, there should be a little shirt like this. You wear it under... This is a national dress. Oh, what a head it is.
You're so powerful.
And I have boobs, right?
Don't you want to marry a German?
Why a German?
No? We're in Germany. I'm interested in Germans.
They are different. Some of them are very strange. When you can say, like, stereotypically, oh yes, a German, what can you expect? But there are others who are smart guys. What's stereotypical in the stereotype? Of course, who pays on the first date? And everyone suggests 50-50. No, not everyone. Some, like, are even afraid. Some ask, are you okay if I treat you? Well, over time, I've learned how to respond to that. I'm like, actually, I can pay for myself, but if someone treats me, then of course I won't refuse. Because they are used to hearing from their German women, so to speak, that, you know, I can handle it myself.
Do German women really handle it? Indeed, they do handle it.
Probably, I don't know. But with German women, whether acquaintances or colleagues, I haven't heard from anyone that it offends them.
Vitali has met various Germans and they often do seem strange. Walking in shorts in the rain is quite a common thing. They often ride bikes in the rain, even to expensive restaurants.
In front of this restaurant there's this bike with a suitcase in front. This girl in those heels, all in white, just swings her leg over, climbs into this suitcase, takes the dog with her. It looked really cool too. She took the dog and her boyfriend drove her somewhere, probably home. For them, it's not a sacrifice. For them, it's fun. It's such a top restaurant. It was so cool to see that they don't have that kind of, well, some kind of restriction that if you're going to a restaurant, you must go by car there. They don't care what others think of them. Absolutely don't care. They can be poorly dressed in expensive cars. This is a country of contradictions. Someone, I've even heard this, says, this is a bipolar country.
Well, look, on one hand, here, right next to us, are simply masterpieces, created by human hands, the pinnacle of industrial power and human intellect. BMW, Mercedes are the coolest. On the other hand, they bow, hand out business cards, can't fix a toilet, and deliver pizza in 6 hours.
This is a great country, actually. With achievements, with people, with history.
It's just in a dip.
Thought was depressed, but living in Germany.
Comparing it to pre-war Kharkiv, Vitaly is surprised that the streets here are cleaned so sluggishly.
A person walks with a plastic bucket, and it takes them a minute to pick up a cigarette butt. Here, everyone just throws cigarette butts. Just like that. It's just like that. They throw them out of cars. I mean, it's wild for us.
20 years ago, the country certainly looked different.
It was clean, very clean. I remember when I arrived, I was just amazed that back then, Ukraine wasn't as clean. There wasn't such organization. Now, even Munich, which is considered the cleanest city, is sometimes very dirty in some places.
Germany looked different even in the year 100 years ago. It was in the city of Munich that Hitler first attempted to organize a coup and seize power.
Right here was the beer hall, where Hitler said they were going to seize power. And right here they were all shot. Hitler fell, and his bodyguard, who essentially saved him, fell on him. And when he came to power, he said that this street was part of the memory of his fallen comrades. And he made everyone give. That sign, which is well known and cannot be shown, the sun, yes, right here. Everyone had to do it, but not everyone agreed with the policy. Not everyone, just like now. So these are different things. Politics, the state, people, society. And some people avoided it.
Just to simply avoid raising their hand?
Yes. Then he ordered all those people to be shot. And here is a monument to those people. They walked around on this street. See, there's a tour going on right now, and look down. See those golden stones? Yes, Edikab. And with you was Edikab. Let's walk on them, let's go. We are at other places, As you can see, this is the...
идет в канализацию, видишь?
At Oktoberfest, it's night, but there are even more people. Queues are forming for beer and food. The bars are packed, only at the candy stall there's no one left. Visitors are having a super fun time, but not everyone. In this blue box, an entire ambulance crew is evacuating, hopefully, a still living person. Here, a guy has clearly had too much and ruined his celebration, and over there, an aggressive fellow is about to get punched in the face by someone. Amidst the piles of trash, there are clearly lots of treats hidden, and this young mom is determined to find them, AT.
Wow, oh my, an accident. That's very rare. It's truly a valuable shot. Probably this is the fourth accident in 2.5 years that I've seen.
Recently, Vitalik, like other car owners with Ukrainian plates, was required to re-register them to German ones.
There are possibilities. They said they provided all the opportunities. And you can re-register, but when you go to the service, they say, we don't know how to do it. Well, I say, well, here's the directive. They printed out the schedule. Yes, I understand, but we don't know how to do it. We have this regulation, and that's it. We can't do it.
Recently, he attempted to do it, and then he went to a special service by appointment.
I waited for an hour and a half, and then I very boldly, just insanely, very boldly, downright rudely for Germans, knocked on the office door and asked, "Excuse me, please, I really need to go to work. I've been sitting here for an hour and a half. Maybe they forgot or something." 2 girls indeed attacked me. They started yelling that I don't know the rules of Germany and that it would be faster for me to go to Ukraine to handle this. I asked, "Did I offend you in any way?" I just asked. And both of them were yelling very loudly. I barely got my documents back, and I left. This is yet another nuance of Germany, that probably everyone knows that there is no service anywhere. And why is there none? Because no one is afraid of losing their job.
However, according to Vitalik, the police on the roads are very tactful and polite.
But Germany is contradictory. And so when a neighbor's dog attacked my child and we called the police, they arrived 7 hours later and said, "We don't have the authority to deal with this. Here's a business card for the agency that handles neighbor issues." Well, why are you nervous? There's a green light right here. See, they can get nervous sometimes. What?
Slowly, right?
Slowly. Well, it's mostly taxi drivers. That's a taxi driver. He's going to overtake us now. They are very inattentive.
Strange, you would think Germans, right? So meticulous, everything neat.
It's not the same anymore. That's gone. This is not the Germany that used to be. And they drive here. Very relaxed. They don't look around, neither in cars nor on bikes. And that's why they can be somewhere by chance. Hit somewhere.
Vitalik is surprised by the quality of the gasoline. Upon arriving in Germany, fuel consumption dropped significantly.
This is the overall consumption. Now we're driving and it's 6.9. This is us driving in the city. That is, if we were not driving in the city without this kind of congestion, it would be even less. 11.2. That's what I had. It's very strange. And the roads, I really don't know, of course, what potholes are like now. The roads, they just keep repairing them all the time.
The roads are good.
Good? Well, there's no need for that. In the 2 years we've lived here, they've cut the asphalt twice, and twice they cut good ones. They cut well.
Hey, damn, guys, please come to us. Well, guys, at least just patch it up somewhere. Vitalik is learning German and has greatly changed his opinion about the language.
In the post-Soviet space, they used to say that German is such a harsh language. It's just all harsh.
That's some kind of myth I don't get.
It's propaganda. It was just propaganda. Yes, there are regions, some Austrian ones, where they speak like that.
It's like thinking that when you hear Arabic, immediately jokes. Like a suicide bomber. Kamikaze, kamikaze, a shaheed is coming.
Yes, Russian is like arriving on a bear.
In this photo are Alina's parents. Following their daughter, they also moved to Germany. Oh, is this your house? Grandparents. Housing and work, it was very difficult for them to find. Did you help them find it?
Yes, I did find it after all. Well, it's certainly not a dream job. Everywhere is like honey-coated, so to speak. Yes, it's difficult when you don't know the language.
What do you think? Are they happy with the move?
No. Of course, they want that.
Will they leave?
Probably, yes. Mommy's like, "Oh, you know, Alina, if only you got married, had a child, I would help you with the baby and then go back."
They've been here 2 years. How did they manage?
Somehow it's not easy for me and it's not easy for them either, but because of me, because they want to be near me, to not be so far away and to see each other more often, on average once a week. That's how we see each other.
Vitalik and I are walking around the city center and peeking into windows. Besides, this glamorous axe with firewood, this salon seems strange. Vitalik walks here every day and hasn't seen a single client yet.
Moreover, the rent here is 15,000 a month, and yet they are always empty. I haven't figured out this heat yet.
But overall, finding demand for your product in Germany is very realistic.
I'm walking, and I see a line, and the line is about 70 meters long. It's summer. I think maybe they're giving away free iPhones. I reach the beginning of this line and see a window where some people, it seemed to me like Armenians or Georgians, opened a pastry shop. So I remember this pastry shop like that from my childhood. You know, like in oil, pies. And there's a crowd standing for the pies. A pie costs 3.50 euros. Whatever opens here, it has its demand. And it's the same in the service industry. Ukrainians came, both men and women. Yes, everyone. Everyone is being served by them. Manicures, makeups, hairstyles, everyone went to them. A friend of ours recently opened a barber shop there. And he already has a line.
Vitaly himself, among other things, is a tennis coach.
It just started spreading. The word that I am actually coaching here, people really immediately started reaching out and asking, like, could you, in fact, train my children or play with me? And the cost here is quite high, so you can also earn a little from this. There is no service. Again, there is no service. Why is there no service? No one is afraid that someone will complain about them. No one is afraid that they will be fired. Because the lack of staff, qualified, any kind of qualification, is always scary for business. Let's take some examples. There were banners all over the city. Did you see how the banner was put up?
Upside down.
And you can't complain.
And they forgot to include a clause in the contract that if suddenly, the banner is upside down, okay, then such and such.
Vitaly is compiling separate lists of the pros and cons of living in Germany.
But I see you have definitely fewer pros than cons.
Among the main pros are the huge market, safety, and strangely enough, prices.
Price balance. I tried to compare prices, for example, currently in Ukraine and in Munich. Right now in Ukraine, according to my price balance calculations, it's about 3 times more expensive than in Munich. Munich's location is superb. Mountains are nearby, lakes are nearby, Italy is nearby, all of Europe is nearby, Switzerland is nearby. Everything is very cool. You can get everywhere by car.
And also, Germans are introverts and love social distancing,
My wife really likes this. She says, oh, they always stand so far away from me. It's difficult everywhere. Everywhere is difficult. The main challenge here is not to succumb to the temptation that this is a welfare state that will give you everything. There are just some people who don't need anything. They need to drink a couple of bottles of beer a day, take a walk in the park, go to the lake. That's all they have here. And all of this is for free. And all of this is for free, they will pay you for it.
Vitaly believes it's better to work and build a career.
For a family of 4 living in Munich with 2 small children and 2 adults, 5,000 euros a month for a family, this basically covers all needs, including vacations, somewhere outside of Germany, like Italy, Switzerland, and so on. Can they really earn that? I believe that people who have also been affected by this whole situation, the unpleasant one with the war and so on, should not be afraid to come, to open, to look for a community. For example, the day before yesterday, I was at a business club where I met great people. Russian-speaking and Ukrainian-speaking, all these are people who are engaged in business, who help each other, who support each other. And all this is possible. It's very sad to see how there are communities, for example, of Asians.
They always stick together, it's crazy.
Arabs, Armenians, and only Slavs each other. Why is that? Why?
Germany is changing quickly. From the most warlike country in the world to, it seems, the most hospitable. From the most ethnically pure to very colorful and multicultural. Whether all this is good or bad for Germany will be decided by the Germans themselves, regardless of their race. William?